I'd like to greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter whether you're the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, or my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't matter whether you like me, my YouTube videos, whether you be silent or speak up, whether you give a thumbs up or thumbs down. It doesn't matter if you're light-skinned or dark-skinned. I greet all of you all with the same universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. The night happened to be Tuesday, March the 31st, 2020. The time being about 8:10 p.m. 2020 is a perfect vision. If I had 2020, I wouldn't have to use my glasses, but I still can see. 2020 to me is a time for a change. It don't matter what your race is. Some people may say that I'm racist or I see everything as being racist. I don't. If you notice, my three oldest daughters are, well, my two youngest is Puerto Rican and Dominican and black. My oldest daughter is Puerto Rican and Indian and black. My son happened to be black. And my dad's mother is Irish and black. My mother's mother is Indian and black. So I don't have any room to be racist. Some of my relatives date white, some date black, some date all nationalities. But when I see something that I think is racist, then I speak up on it. When you don't live here and witness it for yourself, and you talk from hundreds of miles away, you see what I'm saying? You doing something that James Brown said, it's a dark night, ain't nothing cutting. You talking loud, you ain't saying nothing because you don't know what's going on. See, my 13 and 14-year-old daughters, they knew what was going on right across here at the Family Dollar store at 601 South Main Street in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County on February the 13th, 2020, when they walked in the store. They've been walking in this store since the store was built. You see, they were shopping in there. Their mother, since this store was built, their mother has been living in Chicago, not down here. May she rest in peace. She just passed away on the 15th of this month. But my 13 and 14-year-old daughter went in this store like they normally do, by themselves. My 13-year-old daughter, which is my youngest child, went in this store and she was purchasing a candy bar when a white female asked her that worked in there, "Is that a wig on your head?" She didn't have to answer. Some children that you would have asked at that age, was that a wig on your head, they probably would have got to throwing down with you. But my daughters did what I taught them to do. Yes, ma'am. Then told her she didn't supposed to be in the store. And my daughter wanted to know why. Because she said because her and her mother was in the store that day, February 13th, 2020, stealing, and they've been coming in there regularly stealing. And that brought my oldest daughter into it. But you see, that ain't the first time this same white female accused somebody, black, of stealing. She actually took her phone and took pictures of certain black people and accused them of stealing, but couldn't produce it on the camera. But you see, on October the 23rd, 2019, this same white female, you see, it's a pattern. Me and a black guy was standing at the counter waiting to be served. This white female came behind the counter. The camera showed it. Me and the manager went back there and looked at it. A white manager who had good sense left this dollar store as a manager, went over to Sykes in Missouri to the Dollar General store and became a manager. But we watched the thing when she was playing with her phone. When she was playing with her phone and ignored us. But then when a white individual came in there, what she did was she ended up leaving from behind the counter and left us standing there. Now, all law enforcement officials know about it because I put it on my YouTube video. But here is a white police officer who has a history of racism and lying on police reports when it comes to blacks. He tried to say she was doing a job. But you see, the people knew she wasn't doing her job because that's not in her job description. When you think a black sergeant let her know that if you have somebody that you want to borrow at the store, you can't just borrow them out. It ain't your store. You have to go downtown. But I want to show you something else that's racism before I close this here up. But that's one form of racism that no police officers, you know, sheriff or police officers, or none of these NAACP individuals got involved. I had to file the paperwork myself. The Human Rights Commission, the Missouri Human Rights Commission is investigating it now. I'm going to leave that right there for right now, but show you some more racism in a minute. Now, I want to show y'all another form of racism here in Charleston, Missouri. Everybody don't complain about the racism. You know, everybody didn't complain when they was making people of color, black folks, when they pay their fare on the bus back in the 50s, making them go to the back. Everybody wasn't like Rosa Parks and refused. In other words, everybody ain't gonna speak up. But I want to show you another form of racism. You know, I took the liberty to vote for another sheriff. I had a sign in my yard. They was having a special election January the 29th, 2019. And I had a sign here and I was promoting it. And then two individuals in this town who told me on when I had my Facebook page and told other people they used to run Vine. Anyway, they got to questioning me about the individual that I was voting for in the sign, and I felt like this here, that I didn't owe them no explanation. Number one, they couldn't vote. Even though I've been convicted in Chicago, but I still can vote. They can't vote. But anyway, they took it to liberty to come about 10, 11 o'clock at night. My security cameras got it. They parked over here. They parked over here. Then they came on this corner. And one of them tagged me. I wasn't his friend on Facebook, but he tagged me and said, "We out here." And they kept on the harassment side, pointing their camera by my house. They stayed out there for a while, so what I did was I called the police because you can hear them talking loud. And a black sergeant came and a white police officer from the Charleston, Missouri Police Department. But they had left, the two guys had left, but then they came back while the police officer was here. But good thing, right up here by my sidewalk, two state police pulled up behind these particular Charleston, Missouri police officers because they know how they are. Now, while I'm telling them what they did, here these guys, one of them had walked all the way here. And I told all the way right here. And the police, one of them, Austin Henson, the white one, he's sitting in his car laughing. And the black sergeant, he telling me what I can't do if they came on my property. And I told him what I'd do if they came on my property. I was going to eliminate them. But then, to show you how ignorant these two individuals was, they was trying to show out having themselves on FaceTime live. They kept the camera on, and when the police, the sergeant and the white officer Henson went over here with them, they got to talking about me. And Officer Henson told them that he be rolling when he see what these individuals be doing. But let me show you this here. The same sheriff that I voted for, I told him about what Austin them did and gave him the video to see it. He didn't see no fault in Austin, but he seen fault in the black sergeant. Now tell me that ain't racism. You see what I'm saying? And if anybody denied, I'll take a polygraph test to say it. He said, Sergeant Percy Owens know better. If Sergeant Percy Owens know better, Austin Henson know better. He a military man too. You see, that's another form of racism. I went to the chief. The chief told me if I learned how to talk to his officer, maybe he said they was wrong, but maybe he'll make them write a report. That's a sign of racism. But let me tell you another thing. When these same guys kept on coming by my house doing things in front of my daughters and them, calling me rapists and all this here, the sheriff department, other police department didn't do nothing. You see what I'm saying? But when they got to mention the sheriff's name, the sheriff didn't send police officers out here to go tell them to stop. The sheriff sent 3 individuals that's in that circle with them. One of them work in the sheriff's department. One of them is on the school board in the Charleston R1 school district. And one of them is the NAACP president. Now, why would you send these individuals out here to tell them to stop saying your name, but you ain't worried about what they doing to me? You see what I'm saying? And then they further did it at the courthouse. No police around. The police wrote a report. They had a trial. The state's attorney never even presented the evidence. I had to bring it on my phone. But let me show you something else. Me and my daughters and them was invited to an all-white church. We went several times. Back in February, me and my daughters and them, they asked me, can they go to this little program that they have in their school, in their church for the children. My daughters and them went one day, went all right. The second day, they was playing tag. They was the only 2 black females in there. All the rest of them was white. Once you touch somebody, they was partners. Didn't none of them want to be partners with my 2 daughters, so my 2 daughters was partners. But once they touch somebody, then those 2 partners have to team up with the other 2 partners. They touched my 2 daughters, and guess what? When they supposed to team up with my 2 daughters, them 2 white girls wouldn't team up with them. They didn't want to touch them. I told this same individual about it, who invited me to the church, the top law enforcement official. All he said was, I didn't know that, but you know it now. And they never said nothing else about it. My daughters and them didn't want to go back to that church. But just to show you how racist this town is. But now, I hadn't seen the sheriff in 14 months. 2-3 days ago, he came by here. You don't speak to me? Hey, how you doing? I ain't spoke to you in 14 months because you ain't been around. Peace be still.